I still remember the way my mother's voice sounded when she said it. Soft, careful, like she was trying not to shatter something fragile. Beta, we need to talk about the venue. I was sitting on my bed, wedding planner open on my laptop, color swatches scattered like fallen petals around me. My wedding was 6 weeks away. Every detail had been chosen with love, patience, and compromise, especially the venue. It wasn't just a hall, it was the place, an old heritage property by the lake, glowing under fairy lights at night. My fiancé and I had booked it almost a year ago, paid the deposit ourselves, signed the contract ourselves. It was the one thing my parents had agreed not to interfere with. Or so I thought. "What about it?" I asked, already feeling something tighten in my chest. There was a pause, too long. My father cleared his throat. "Your cousin Neha's birthday party is the same weekend." I blinked. "Okay, she can book somewhere else." Another pause, this time heavier. My mother avoided my eyes. "The thing is, she really likes your venue." The words didn't register at first. I actually laughed. "Everyone likes it. That's why we booked it." My father finally looked at me. "We told the venue owner to give it to Neha for her party instead." The room went silent. My smile froze and cracked. "You what?" "It's just a party," my mother said quickly, as if that explained everything. "You'll still get married. We can find you another place." Another place. Like this was a dress I could just exchange. I stood up so fast my chair fell over. "That venue is booked in my name. We paid for it." My father waved his hand dismissively. "Neha's father is handling it. He said he'll manage." Manage what? My wedding? I felt heat rush to my face. "So you canceled my venue without asking me?" My mother reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "She's family," she said softly. "It would look bad if we said no." The irony almost made me scream. "I'm not family?" No one answered. Later that night, the truth came out, not from them, but from my aunt's brag-filled phone call. "She's throwing such a grand party," my aunt said proudly. "Influencers, business partners, important people. It wouldn't suit her to have it in some ordinary hall." I realized then what this really was. My cousin's image mattered more than my marriage. My parents hadn't just taken my venue, they had chosen sides, and I wasn't on theirs. I locked myself in my room and cried until my eyes burned. Then I did something I hadn't planned to do at all. I called the venue owner myself. His name was Mr. Khanna, older man, calm voice. He remembered me immediately. "Of course," he said, "you're the bride who booked the lake garden." "Yes," I whispered. "Sir, did my parents cancel my booking?" There was a pause on the line. "No," he said slowly. "They tried to." My heart started pounding. "They said it was a family decision, but the contract is in your name, so I didn't cancel anything." Relief flooded me, until he added something that made my breath catch. "However," he said, "after what they said next, I think you deserve to know something important." My grip tightened around the phone. What did they say? His answer would change everything. I thought my parents had simply betrayed me, but what the venue owner revealed next exposed a secret deal that went far beyond my wedding, and it involved money, status, and a lie my family never expected me to uncover.
"What did they say?" I repeated, my voice barely holding together. Mr. Khanna sighed on the other end of the line, the sound heavy with discomfort. "Your parents told me this venue was never really yours. They said the wedding was flexible." Flexible. That single word made my stomach drop. They said your cousin's party would bring in better exposure, sponsors, influential guests. They hinted that allowing the party might lead to future bookings for the venue. I felt dizzy. So they tried to sell my wedding as a business opportunity? Yes, he said gently, and when I hesitated, your uncle called me directly. My uncle, the same man who never remembered my birthday but suddenly had authority over my wedding? What did he say? Mr. Khanna hesitated again. He offered extra money, cash, off the record, to quietly shift your booking to another location and give your date to your cousin. My knees buckled, and I sank onto the edge of the bed. They were willing to pay you to erase my wedding? I whispered. I refused, he said firmly. I don't operate that way. But they didn't stop. My chest tightened. What do you mean? They told me, he said, choosing his words carefully, that you would agree eventually, that you were emotional, difficult, and that family pressure would make you comply. I closed my eyes. That part hurt more than the venue itself. My own parents had painted me as a problem to be managed? I wanted to inform you, he continued, because they're now telling people the booking was never confirmed. They're rewriting the story. A cold clarity settled over me. This wasn't just betrayal. It was reputation damage, control, erasure. Sir, I said, taking a shaky breath, is my booking still valid? Yes, he replied without hesitation. Legally and ethically, it's yours. But I need to ask, are you prepared for what comes next? What comes next? I asked. If I make one phone call, he said slowly, this situation will escalate. Families don't like it when the truth comes out. After the call ended, I sat in silence, replaying everything. Suddenly, the last few weeks made sense. Why my mother had stopped asking about my decor, why my father avoided wedding conversations, why my aunt kept hinting big things are happening that weekend. They had already decided. I confronted my parents that night. You tried to bribe the venue owner, I said flatly. My mother's face drained of color. Who told you that? So it's true, I said. My uncle slammed his hand on the table. Lower your voice. Do you want the neighbors to hear? I laughed, sharp, broken. You were fine with the whole world knowing I lost my venue, but now you want privacy? My mother's eyes filled with tears. You're being selfish. Neha's father has invested a lot of money into this party. And I haven't invested my heart into my wedding? I shot back. My father leaned forward. Listen carefully. This family functions on harmony. Sacrifices have to be made. By me, I said. Always by me. He didn't deny it. That's when I realized something terrifying. They truly believed I would back down. That night, my fiancé held my hands and said words I'll never forget. He said softly, if you let this go, they'll do it again to our children, to our life. I looked at my phone, at Mr. Khanna's number, and for the first time, I didn't feel scared. I felt ready, because I wasn't going to beg for my own wedding. I was going to let the truth speak, and it would only take one phone call. I thought making that call would simply protect my wedding, but instead it triggered a chain reaction that exposed my family's greed in front of people they were desperate to impress, and my cousin's perfect party was about to collapse.
The next morning, I woke up with swollen eyes and a strange calm in my chest. For the first time since this nightmare began, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I called Mr. Khanna back. I'm ready, I said. Make the call. He didn't ask me to explain. He didn't try to soften it. He simply said, then please listen carefully. Once I do this, things will move fast. Within an hour, my phone started vibrating non-stop. Missed calls, messages, voice notes, all from numbers I recognized, and some I didn't. The first call I answered was from my aunt. What did you tell the venue owner?
she snapped, skipping all pretense. I told him the truth, I said calmly, that it's my wedding. She gasped like I'd committed a crime. Do you have any idea who he's calling now? No, I said, but I'm guessing the people you lied to. I hung up before she could respond. What Mr. Khanna had done wasn't loud or dramatic. It was surgical. He called the event sponsors my uncle had bragged about, the ones who believed they were attending an exclusive birthday celebration at a prestigious venue. He informed them the date was contractually reserved for a wedding, and that any party scheduled there had been falsely promised. He also called the catering company, the decorators, and the event planner, every single vendor, and he told them one sentence that changed everything. There may be a legal dispute over this booking. That was enough. By noon, the sponsors pulled out. By afternoon, the caterers froze services. By evening, my cousin's guest list started shrinking like a deflating balloon. Neha called me around sunset. Her voice trembled. Why are you doing this to me? I almost laughed. To you? I asked. You took my wedding venue. She sniffed. It's just a party. The same words my mother had used. You knew it was my wedding. You didn't care. She lowered her voice. Do you know how embarrassed I am right now? People are canceling. Influencers are backing out. And how do you think I felt when my own parents erased me? She went silent. Then she said something that confirmed everything I'd suspected. My dad said you wouldn't fight back. I ended the call without another word. That evening, my parents sat me down like I was a misbehaving child. You've humiliated us, my father said. No, I corrected. You humiliated yourselves. My mother cried. The family is talking. They were already talking, just not about the truth. My father leaned in close. If you don't stop this, don't expect support at your wedding. I met his eyes. I never had it to begin with. That's when the final blow landed. My uncle arrived unannounced, red-faced and furious. You think this makes you powerful, ruining a young girl's party? A young girl? I said. She's 26. He pointed at me. Call the venue owner. Tell him to fix this. I shook my head. I won't. His expression darkened. Then forget your parents' blessing. The room went dead silent. I realized then what they thought love was, a bargaining chip. I stood up, my hands steady. If your blessing only comes with silence and sacrifice, you can keep it. I walked out of the room while my mother sobbed behind me. That night, Mr. Khanna called again. I need to warn you, he said. Your uncle is threatening legal action. I laughed softly. Let him. There was a pause. Then Mr. Khanna said something unexpected. In 30 years, I've never seen a family turn on its own bride like this. Neither had I. But I also knew this wasn't over, because the call Mr. Khanna was about to make wouldn't just cancel a party. It would expose a lie my family had built for years.
I didn't sleep that night. My phone sat on the bedside table like a ticking clock. I knew something bigger was coming, something my family had carefully buried. The call came just after dawn. It was Mr. Khanna. Before I proceed, he said, there is something you should understand. Your uncle didn't just lie about your wedding. He's been using my venue's name for years. My heart skipped. Using it how? He tells people his family has priority access here, Mr. Khanna explained, that he brings high-profile events, investors, corporate gatherings. I sat up, but that's not true. No, he said, He hosted one small event years ago. Everything else is exaggerated or entirely false. Suddenly, memories clicked into place. My uncle's sudden social climbing, the expensive dinners, the constant name-dropping. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked. "Because yesterday," Mr. Khanna said, "I received 3 calls from people asking why their invitations were canceled. They mentioned your uncle personally guaranteed the venue." My stomach turned. He hadn't just stolen my date, he'd built credibility on lies. "I contacted those people," Mr. Khanna continued, "and when they asked for proof, I asked your uncle for documentation." I already knew the answer. "He has none," I whispered. "No," Mr. Khanna confirmed, and when I pressed further, he threatened me. That was when it stopped being personal and became dangerous for him. "I won't tolerate threats," Mr. Khanna said calmly, so I made another call. "To who?" I asked. "To the business association that oversees private event partnerships, and to 2 investors whose names your uncle has been casually using." My hands started shaking. "What happens now?" I asked. "Now," he said, "people start asking questions your uncle can't answer." By afternoon, the family WhatsApp group exploded. Rumors, accusations, panic. Someone posted screenshots of emails, investors asking for clarification. Another shared a voice note of my uncle yelling at an event planner. Then came the message from my cousin Neha. "This is your fault," she wrote. "My dad is under investigation." I stared at the screen. Under investigation? For years, my family had treated my uncle like the golden pillar, the man who funded family trips, the one whose opinion mattered most. And now his entire image was cracking. That evening, my parents came to my room. They looked smaller somehow. "Why didn't you stop this?" my mother asked quietly. I met her eyes. "Why didn't you stop him?" My father rubbed his temples. "We didn't know it would go this far." "You didn't care how far it went for me," I replied. He opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. For the first time, they had no defense. The truth spilled out slowly. My uncle had promised to help my father financially if the family supported Neha publicly. That party wasn't just a celebration, it was a display of power. And my wedding? Collateral damage. "You traded my dignity for his money." My mother broke down, but my tears were gone. That night, Mr. Khanna sent me a message. "The wedding date is secure," it read, "and I want you to know this venue stands with you." I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt something else. Justice was unfolding, but consequences were coming, because my uncle wasn't the kind of man who accepted downfall quietly, and the next move he made would be his most desperate yet. Just when I thought the truth had won, my uncle made a final attempt to control the narrative, one that involved emotional blackmail, public shame, and a demand that could cost me my entire wedding if I refused. The call came from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me not to. It was my uncle. His voice was calm, controlled, and terrifyingly polite. "We need to talk." "I don't think we do," I replied. "Oh, we do," he said, "because this has gone far enough." I could hear traffic in the background. He wasn't calling from home. He didn't want witnesses. "You've embarrassed my family," he continued. "Investors are questioning me. People are whispering." "You embarrassed yourself," I said. "I just stopped lying for you." There was a sharp exhale on the line. "Listen carefully. I can end this today." My heart sank. "How?"
"You make a public statement," he said. "Say there was a misunderstanding, that you willingly gave up the venue for Neha." I laughed bitterly. "You want me to lie?" "For family unity," he corrected. "If you don't, I will make sure your wedding doesn't happen." My stomach twisted. "Is that a threat?" "A reality," he said smoothly. "Your parents rely on me. Vendors rely on connections. Things can disappear." I realized then how used to control he was. "I won't do it," I said. His tone hardened. "Then be prepared." Within hours, the pressure began. Relatives calling me stubborn, messages accusing me of ruining the family, posts on social media hinting at a selfish bride. My mother begged me to reconsider. "Just apologize," she cried. "Say it was confusion." For what? For existing? My father said nothing, but his silence spoke volumes. That night, my fiancé received a call from his relatives. They'd been told I was unstable, that I was causing drama before marriage. That's when I understood. This wasn't just about a venue. It was about crushing me into submission before I became someone's wife, before I gained a voice that wasn't fully controlled by them. I called Mr. Khanna again. "They're trying to destroy my reputation," I said. "I know," he replied. "They contacted me too." "What did they say?" "They offered to withdraw complaints if I publicly state the booking was ambiguous." "And you?" I asked. "I declined," he said, "because it wasn't ambiguous." My chest tightened with gratitude. Then he said something that shifted everything. "There's another option," he said, "one that protects you completely." "What option?" "You step out of the narrative," he explained. "I speak." I frowned. "Speak how?" "I issue an official statement as the venue owner. Clear timelines, contracts, names." My pulse raced. That would expose everything. "Yes, and once it's public, they lose control." I knew what that meant. My family would never forgive me. But then again, had they ever really chosen me? I thought about my wedding day. Did I want to walk down the aisle carrying silence and shame, or truth? "I want you to do it," I said. The statement went live the next morning, clear, professional, undeniable. And by noon, my uncle's phone stopped ringing. Not because people supported him, because they were done. That evening, my parents came to me again. "We can't protect you anymore," my father said quietly. I looked at them and realized something painful. They never had. But what my uncle did next, after losing everything, would shock even me. Because desperation makes people reckless, and he was about to aim it straight at my wedding day. Just days before my wedding, my uncle made a move so cruel and calculated that it threatened to cancel everything, guests, rituals, even my marriage, unless I gave in one last time. The call came from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me not to. It was my uncle. His voice was calm, controlled, and terrifyingly polite. "We need to talk." "I don't think we do," I replied. "Oh, we do," he said, "because this has gone far enough." I could hear traffic in the background. He wasn't calling from home. He didn't want witnesses. "You've embarrassed my family," he continued. "Investors are questioning me. People are whispering." "You embarrassed yourself," I said. "I just stopped lying for you." There was a sharp exhale on the line. "Listen carefully. I can end this today." My heart sank. "How?" "You make a public statement," he said. "Say there was a misunderstanding, that you willingly gave up the venue for Neha." I laughed bitterly. "You want me to lie?" "For family unity," he corrected. "If you don't, I will make sure your wedding doesn't happen." My stomach twisted. "Is that a threat?" "A reality," he said smoothly. "Your parents rely on me. Vendors rely on connections. Things can disappear." I realized then how used to control he was. "I won't do it," I said. His tone hardened. "Then be prepared." Within hours, the pressure began. Relatives calling me stubborn, messages accusing me of ruining the family, posts on social media hinting at a selfish bride. My mother begged me to reconsider. "Just apologize," she cried. "Say it was confusion." "For what? For existing?" My father said nothing, but his silence spoke volumes. That night, my fiancé received a call from his relatives. They'd been told I was unstable, that I was causing drama before marriage. That's when I understood. This wasn't just about a venue. It was about crushing me into submission before I became someone's wife, before I gained a voice that wasn't fully controlled by them. I called Mr. Khanna again. "They're trying to destroy my reputation," I said. "I know," he replied. "They contacted me too." "What did they say?" "They offered to withdraw complaints if I publicly state the booking was ambiguous." "And you?" I asked. "I declined," he said, "because it wasn't ambiguous." My chest tightened with gratitude. Then he said something that shifted everything. "There's another option," he said, "one that protects you completely." "What option?" "You step out of the narrative," he explained. "I speak." I frowned. "Speak how?" "I issue an official statement as the venue owner. Clear timelines, contracts, names." My pulse raced. That would expose everything. "Yes, and once it's public, they lose control." I knew what that meant. My family would never forgive me. But then again, had they ever really chosen me? I thought about my wedding day. Did I want to walk down the aisle carrying silence and shame, or truth? "I want you to do it," I said. The statement went live the next morning, clear, professional, undeniable. And by noon, my uncle's phone stopped ringing. Not because people supported him, because they were done.
That evening, my parents came to me again. "We can't protect you anymore," my father said quietly. I looked at them and realized something painful. They never had. But what my uncle did next, after losing everything, would shock even me. Because desperation makes people reckless, and he was about to aim it straight at my wedding day. Just days before my wedding, my uncle made a move so cruel and calculated that it threatened to cancel everything, guests, rituals, even my marriage, unless I gave in one last time.
The morning of my wedding was quiet in a way I didn't expect. No shouting, no chaos, just sunlight spilling across the lake, the venue standing exactly as I had imagined it a year ago, calm, dignified, mine. As the makeup artist worked, my hands didn't shake. I had already survived the worst. An hour before the ceremony, my parents arrived. Not with excitement, but hesitation. My mother's eyes were red. My father looked older than I'd ever seen him. "We need to talk," he said. I nodded. "You have 5 minutes." They exchanged a glance. "We were wrong," my mother whispered. "We chose comfort over courage, and you paid the price." I waited. My father swallowed hard. "Your uncle won't be attending." "I know," I said. "He wants to speak to you," my mother added. "He asked us to ask you to forgive him, privately." I almost smiled. "After everything?" I asked. "He couldn't even say it himself?" Silence. I stood up, adjusted my dupatta, and faced them. "This wedding is not a bargaining table," I said. "Anyone who comes today comes with respect, or not at all." My mother nodded, tears streaming. My father lowered his head. When the guests arrived, something incredible happened. They didn't whisper, they didn't judge, they smiled. Mr. Khanna greeted me personally. "Today," he said, "you're not just a bride, you're a woman who stood her ground." When I walked down the aisle, I didn't look for my uncle. I looked at my fiancé, steady, proud, unwavering. And I realized something powerful. This wedding wasn't almost ruined, it was reclaimed. At the reception, my father took the microphone. "I failed my daughter," he said openly, "and today I'm asking her, not the family, for forgiveness." Gasps rippled through the crowd. I walked up beside him. "Accountability," I said, "is the only apology that matters." Later that night, my phone buzzed. A message from my uncle. "You've destroyed everything." I stared at the screen and felt nothing. I blocked the number. Some bridges don't collapse, they're deliberately left behind. As fireworks lit the sky, I finally understood the truth. Family isn't who demands your silence. Family is who stands with you when you speak. And my wedding, it didn't just unite two people, it exposed a family and rebuilt it on truth.